everyone, today's video is going to be eating the cheapest supermarket foods for 24 hours. Now I feel like before I start this video I have to do a little bit of a disclaimer because this is not too far from how I eat normally. I live my life on a budget, I buy the cheap stuff a lot of the time. I don't really notice a huge difference between branded and non-branded foods, but I thought this video would still be interesting to share with you guys the price difference between branded and non-branded, whether it tastes just as good, and just share with you guys my thoughts on the whole thing. But for the most part, this is just going to be a regular what I eat in a day video, so I hope that is okay either way. I'm going to start with some breakfast this morning. I'm feeling pretty hungry. I'm also so hot because England is just warm at the moment and my flat is very warm. My window is broken and I'm melting a little bit. I feel like you're going to see me get progressively shinier throughout this video. So I'm going to go make some breakfast, show you guys what I'm having and see if it lives up to the branded version. So for breakfast this morning I have gone for cornflakes, potentially the most boring breakfast cereal I could have chosen, but I thought these would be a good comparison to the Kellogg's cornflakes. So price wise these are 12p per 100 grams, whereas the Kellogg's ones are 42p per 100 grams. So a really big difference there, almost 4 times the price, which is a little bit mental when it's literally just toasted maize flakes, whatever that is. So I'm gonna pour myself a bowl of this and I'm gonna have it with some soy milk. If you've watched my channel for a while, you would know that I get this milk anyway. I really like the Tesco own brand soy milk. It's only 59p per litre versus I think around £1.30 for Outpro, which is obviously a big price difference. And I actually prefer this. I feel like the Outpro one tastes a little bit more like soy milk, if that makes sense. It's got a stronger flavour, whereas I don't find this one does so much. So that is going to be my breakfast this morning. I think I would always pretty much put sugar on cornflakes because they are so boring. I haven't added any just yet because I figured that wouldn't be a very fair test. So I'm going to give these a try. They definitely need sugar. Wow. I don't remember cornflakes tasting quite that plain. I mean, I know they're a plain cereal, but I'm going to look up the sugar content because I feel like that tastes less sweet than when I last had cornflakes, although that was a while ago. And I feel like with things coming in and laws with sugar, there's a high chance every cereal's probably reduced their sugar content at this point. But I will see if there's a difference in sugar between the two. Okay, so there is a slight difference. Kellogg's has 2.4 grams and the cheap version has 1.8. Don't know if that's a big enough difference that I would be able to taste it in that way, but these definitely don't taste very sweet and I'm going to be adding sugar. But otherwise, I feel like these are fine. It's very standard. I'm not expecting the world from a bowl of cornflakes. I do think there's the potential that the Kellogg's version are like crunchier. These feel quite soft and the milk hasn't been in them for that long. So there's also that possibility that they're different in that way. But I think for the price difference, I would go for these ones. I mean, they taste like cornflakes, so they're doing what I expect from them. It is now a couple of hours later. I think it's just gone 11 and I'm gonna have myself some 11sies. I picked up these ginger nut biscuits. These were 45p from Tesco. They are just like the Tesco own brand, and the McVitie's branded version is £1, but you do get less in the packet as well. So it works out at 15p per 100 grams for the Tesco ones and 40p per 100 grams for the McVitie's ones. So again, it's like 2.5 times the price to get the branded version, and I've definitely had these in the past and I don't have any complaints about them. I feel like they taste the same. I haven't noticed a difference, and if I haven't noticed a difference, I'm not going to pay the extra money for the McVitie's one. So I'm going to have a couple of these. I have also made myself a cup of tea here, which maybe isn't the smartest idea because I'm still very warm. I know people say that drinking hot drinks cools you down, but I definitely don't find that. I feel so hot when I have a hot drink, but I feel like ginger nuts are like the perfect tea dipping biscuits. I don't know, I feel like this could be a good debate actually. If you let me know in a comment what your favourite tea dipping biscuit would be. I think ginger nuts hold up the best in tea and it like adds to the flavour of the ginger nut, whereas like rich tea biscuits just fall apart and disintegrate. So many biscuits when you dip them in tea just fall apart, and these actually hold up. So my preferred way of eating ginger nuts is dipping them in tea, so that is what I'm going to do. I mean, I really have nothing to say about these because I know they're really good. I did actually also want to buy cheap tea for this video, but the one in Tesco's was I think 55p for 80 bags, and even though that's really cheap, if I didn't like the tea, I didn't want to have wasted 80 bags. If I can find like a non-branded version that's like 40 tea bags or 20 tea bags, I will get them to try, because I just don't want to waste food even if it doesn't cost a lot of money. I do think that would be a really interesting video idea, for like a whole video of tasting tea. Don't know if any of you guys would be interested in that, but I feel like there's like a few things that for the most part people are snobby about, and I think tea is one of them. I think baked beans are another one, which I'll be trying for my lunch today. But I would be really curious to try various different branded teas and non-branded teas and see if there's actually a difference, because I will hold my hands up and say I buy Yorkshire tea bags. At the moment I've got PG Tips. Like, I never go for the super cheap tea bags, so maybe that would be a good one to test out. For lunch today I'm going to be having some beans on toast. I have already made my way through a lot of this bread. I only got my shopping 2 days ago, but I didn't want it to go to waste while it was still like in its peak softness. So I've had quite a few slices of this and I can vouch that it is pretty good. This is a comparison to the Toasty brand bread. Price wise, this works out about 7p per 100 grams, and then the branded one is 13p. So almost double the price for what I think is an identical product. I used to be really fussy with bread for some reason. I don't know if anyone else was like this growing up. They just had those few things that they were just unnecessarily fussy about. So when I was a lot younger and lived at home, we got the Toasty bread quite a lot and it was my fave. This is just as good in my opinion. It's just as thick. I'm assuming it lasts just as long, so I'm very happy with this as a swap. And then the beans that I picked up were these Stockwell baked beans. These work out at around 4 times cheaper than the Heinz ones. This was literally only 23p for a can, and the Heinz ones were 85p, which is a little bit insane if I'm completely honest. I do think beans are one of the things, like I mentioned, that people happen to be snobby about. Don't know why. I don't know why we've chosen beans for that to be the case, but I don't really mind non-branded beans for the most part. I get the Tesco own ones anyway. I get the reduced salt and sugar version, but I'm happy to try these. Don't think I'm going to have any issues with them, but I will let you know how they taste. Also on the toast, I'm going to be having some of this Vitalite dairy-free butter. This isn't really part of the challenge because I wasn't really sure what would be the cheapest versus the brand versions of dairy-free butters. This is definitely one of the more affordable ones. It's my personal fave, and I feel like I can't really have beans on toast without some butter. I don't know if this is just me, but there definitely seems to be more liquid in this than I've seen in a can of Heinz beans before. It seems a lot thinner, the sauce, so I'm hoping when it's cooked it's all okay. At the moment it looks a little bit interesting, but I'm going to shove them in the microwave, which is how I always cook my beans, and then see what they look like. Beans on toast are done. Pretty gourmet if you ask me. I am going to give these beans a try because I've definitely not tried these ones before. I feel like a lot of the things in this video I have tried. I am 99% sure that I wouldn't have tried this brand of beans before, so I will see if I like it. If I do, I will switch, although I'm pretty sure the ones I get normally are actually very, very cheap. I think they're 4 for £1, so 25p each. Pretty much the same price as these ones anyway. I mean, definitely tastes like a baked bean. I don't know how much I'm going to be able to say about some standard beans on toast. They are definitely absolutely fine. It's obviously hard to tell without having like the branded version next to it. If you guys want me to do that as a video, I would definitely be down, like get the branded and the non-branded versions of each thing and then do like a taste test to see if you can tell a difference. But from what I can remember normal branded beans tasting like, these taste absolutely fine. I do think they might be a little bit liquidier, which I don't know if that's like a plus or not. Personally, I don't really mind either way. They taste fine, texture is pretty fine. Overall, I definitely think they are worth what you save from getting the cheaper version with the bread as well. I can tell zero difference with the bread. If you're still buying the Toasty branded bread, what are you doing? Just get the Tesco own brand, or I'm assuming every supermarket has their own brand for that type of bread, but it's just as good. Got myself a little after lunch snack of some apple with peanut butter. I used this Asda Smart Price one that I picked up in my Living Below the Line challenge. I'm trying to make my way through it because I do also have this massive tub of whole earth peanut butter to get through as well. Price wise, this is about 20p per 100 grams and this one is about 65p, so pretty significant difference there. I will say I would have bought this when it was on offer. I do normally go for the Asda Own peanut butter, but the one that's got no added salt or sugar or oils. I will put an image on the screen now of what it looks like. That is another one of my faves, and that works out slightly cheaper at 53p, so still more expensive than this one, but more affordable than this one. I definitely think with peanut butter, I do prefer the more expensive ones. I don't really like the added things that they put in the cheaper versions, and I really like the texture of the whole earth peanut butter, but I'm not really too fussy. Like, I will happily eat this. I would happily repurchase this again if I needed to, but I definitely think out of all the things I'm trying today, I do tend to prefer a more expensive peanut butter. I have just finished work for the day and I'm feeling a little bit peckish. Really, I should just start making dinner because it's almost 6 o'clock and I'm hungry, and that would make far more sense. But I'm too hot to do anything like that right now. I don't want to be turning the oven on or putting a hob on. Even though the dinner I have planned is super simple, I figured I would just have a snack now instead, and then hopefully by the time I get around to making dinner, my flat will have cooled down a little bit. That is what I'm hoping, at least. So I'm going to have a packet of these salt and vinegar crisps. These are just the Tesco Own ones. Price wise, these are 77p, and then the Walker's versions are £1.25. So not a huge difference. I mean, by 100 grams, it's 51 pence versus 83. Definitely not massive compared to some of the other comparisons today, but still a saving if they taste the exact same. So this is what I'm going to be trying out. I will say I'm not too fussy with crisps because I'm just obsessed with any sort of crisp. If it's got salt on it and it's potato, I'm very happy. So I will try these out and let you guys know what I think. I definitely don't think these are too different from the Walker's ones. I think texture wise they might be a little bit less crispy than the branded ones. Like the cornflakes this morning, I just feel like these don't have the same crunch, although that might just be my brain making things up. I think flavour wise they're really good, they taste the exact same in my opinion, and the flavour is really strong. I think I would definitely pick these over a Walker's packet for the price saving. I know 50% of this video already has just been me complaining about how hot I am, but it is now 7 o'clock, still hot, hair is up. I'm gonna make myself some pasta for dinner. Pretty boring, pretty basic. I feel like ideally doing this sort of challenge I would have loved to have like a ready meal or something. I feel like that's like a good comparison for cheap versus expensive, but I've gone for pasta with a tomato sauce. Literally the most basic meal you can have, but I can't be bothered to cook anything else more exotic this evening. I have got this standard 20p pasta from Tesco. I've spoken about the 20p supermarket pastas far too much on my channel already, but if you're not buying the 20p pasta, what are you doing? Because it saves you so much money if you eat pasta on a regular basis and the ingredients are the exact same. So if you don't buy cheap pasta, I recommend it. I literally always buy the cheap stuff and I've not had any issues. Saying that, I wasn't a big fan of Lidl's pasta, but I might have just got a dodgy batch there because I don't really know what was going on. If you've seen my Living Below the Line challenge, I got the 20p pasta from Lidl and I just wasn't a big fan. And then I've also picked up this tomato passata from Tesco as well. This was 32p for 500 grams, and I think it works out at 64p per kilogram versus £2 per kilogram for the branded one, which is actually mental. I don't know why anyone would spend that much money on some tomato passata, but each to their own. I'm going to be having this. I'm going to be cooking it with some garlic and some chilli and some oil, and that is going to be my dinner. I did also pick up the 32p baguette from Tesco from their same Hearty Food Company range, which is like their cheap range, but I'm not going to cook that this evening just because as much as I want garlic bread, I really don't want to put the oven on, which is kind of a shame, but I have had it before and I really recommend it. Again, I feel like garlic baguettes are something that you really don't need to buy expensive versions of. Like, you can get nice bougie garlic bread, but if you just want like a standard baguette, go for the cheap one. A lot of them are accidentally vegan, which is another win, and I mean, it's garlic bread, it's never going to be gross. So I'm going to start cooking dinner and I will show you guys what it looks like when I'm done. This is what my dinner has ended up looking like this evening. Probably the most basic meal I could have chosen, but I just made the tomato sauce by adding some garlic and chili flakes into some olive oil, cooking that for a little bit, and then adding the passata and seasoning with salt and pepper. Literally the most basic meal. I'm a little bit worried I might have made it too spicy, which wouldn't be too wise on a day like this, so fingers crossed I can eat it and it's edible. I do also have some salady bits to go with it, but I figured as I can't really do branded versus non-branded salad, I'm going to eat this for now and give you guys my thoughts on the pasta and the passata. I really don't want to have to mention it again, but I am still feeling warm. I'm going to eat the final thing that I'm going to have today now, because all I want to do is jump in the shower and stay there for a very long time. I'm literally about to have the coldest shower of my life, I think, and it's going to be great. But the final thing I'm going to eat today is actually an ice cream. So I am thanking my past self for picking up ice cream for this video because I'm feeling very grateful. So I've got these Tesco free from toffee and vanilla cones. Now this definitely isn't like the most affordable thing ever. I think it was £2.25 for a box of 4. But this is definitely cheaper than the branded version. So Cornetto do vegan cones. Price wise, when I looked on Asda, they were £3.50 for the Cornetto ones versus the £2.25 for these. So again, a fairly good price difference in my opinion. I have tried the Cornetto ones, although it was a while ago, and I'm pretty sure I haven't tried these. I have tried a few of like the supermarket owned ice creams before and I've been a big fan. But I'm 99% sure that I've not tried these before. It has been so long since I've had an ice cream like this. I'm not usually a massive dessert person, but I've really got into ice cream recently, and there's an ice cream shop near me that does really good vegan Biscoff ice cream, and it's my newest addiction. Definitely don't have a massive sweet tooth, but I could have that every day of the week. So we'll see if this lives up to that. I have a feeling it won't, but we will see. This is what the cone looks like. I think that's pretty good. For some reason it doesn't taste very cold. I don't know if that's like a weird thing to say about ice cream, because obviously it has to be a certain level of cold for it to be frozen, but it doesn't taste particularly cold. I feel like that might be like the dumbest thing I've ever said, but I mean, it's good. I feel like it has a slight soy flavour. I'm pretty sure these must be made from soy. I mean, it's only got soy in it, but I don't actually know what the base of the ice cream is. The main ingredients are water, sugar, maize flour, coconut oil, so not too sure, but it has a slight soya flavour. That might actually just be their attempt at toffee, and I might just be getting confused, but I mean, it tastes good. I am definitely going to enjoy the rest of this. I'm really hoping that it has chocolate at the bottom of the cone, because I feel like that is the best part when you get an ice cream cone from a supermarket. The chocolate at the bottom just makes it for some reason, so going to be very disappointed if there's not any chocolate at the bottom of this, but I'm going to finish this ice cream, and that is going to be the last thing that I'm going to eat today. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. To be honest, it's been more of just a what I eat in a day than a food challenge, because most of the stuff I ate today was very normal for me. But I hope you guys found the price differences interesting anyway. I will put on the screen now the differences between if I'd done this shop with all of the branded products versus how much this stuff cost me getting the cheapest versions, just to show the price difference. I honestly just think if you can go for the cheaper option, do it. I don't think I actually said how the pasta was. The pasta was really good. I feel like some people, if you have like a very particular taste palette, maybe you go for the more expensive passata and you can tell a difference, but for me, I literally don't care. It makes no difference to me. I feel like there's like varying levels of like tomato-ness and acidity. I just think you can balance that out with like sugar, salt, different seasonings and things, and it's not a big deal. So I'm always going to go for the cheapest passata, and the same with the pasta, because to me it really makes no difference, and I eat those things fairly regularly, so it means I save money that way. But yeah, that is everything I'm eating today. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.